Yo, YouTube, what's good with y'all, man? It's your boy back at y'all again with another video. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Y'all know the vibes, man. So, the Patriots just got done dismantling the Carolina Panthers 42-13 yesterday, man. And I must say, man, I just had to get on here and talk about this, man, because in the past I have talked about Bryce Young in the past, man, and I've been saying this too. I've been saying that the Carolina Panthers need to look to move on from Bryce Young, but because Bryce Young kind of had like a good, you know, little stretch towards the second half of the season last year after he got benched for Andy Dalton, the Carolina Panthers put him back out there, and they definitely expected to get a lot more out of him, but it just seems like the same reoccurring things are happening, man. Whenever you put the ball in Bryce Young's hands and you ask him to go win you a game, he has a hard time doing that. Um, Now, last week when the Carolina Panthers took down the Atlanta Falcons 30-0, their defense really played well, and shut out the Atlanta Falcons and Michael Penix. They even had people questioning whether or not Michael Penix was the answer at quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons. You know what I'm saying? But fast forward, to yesterday, man. That offense looked garbage. That offense looked absolutely incompetent under Dave Canales, and we know that Dave Canales in the past has worked with some pretty good quarterbacks. You know what I mean? Baker Mayfield. He was. I believe he was with the Seahawks when Geno Smith had his resurgent year. So when the Carolina Panthers hired Dave Canales, they thought they were getting a quarterback whisperer out of him, and I still believe that Dave Canales can coach, man. I just think that he doesn't have the right quarterback in house. I think that the Carolina Panthers need to look to move on for Bryce Young, man. In this game, Bryce Young I think he had like 150 passing yards, 18 of 33 passing. I just don't think it's good enough, man. The dude is really small. You know what I mean? He's not as mobile as you would want him to be. It seems to me like one bad hit could really end Bryce Young's career at any given time. And he just looks like a backup quarterback more so than a first overall pick. You know what I mean? Bryce Young looks like a backup quarterback that can come in here and win you some games, but for the most part, he's kind of average. You know what I mean? That's kind of what he looks like now. Could he be something in the future? Only time will tell, man. But it looks like his time in Carolina is kind of coming to an end. You know what I mean? As the days go on, because how much longer is Dave Canales gonna put up with this shit? Because his job is on the line too. I mean, you seen they benched Bryce Young last season. You know what I mean, for Andy Dalton. The only reason why Andy Dalton uh the only reason why Andy Dalton went back to being a backup quarterback last year is because he got into a car accident. So we have to factor all these things in, man, when it comes to Bryce Young and the Carolina Panthers. The offensive line, I feel like, definitely improved a little bit. Uh, Now, could they use a little bit more juice in the backfield as far as the running game goes with Chuba Hubbard? Absolutely. You know what I mean? Could they use a couple of more receiving weapons? You know what I mean? Because they traded away Adam Thielen to the Vikings for absolutely nothing. They definitely could. You know what I'm saying? I definitely think that they'll have a lot more firepower once Jalen Coker comes back, because I think Bryce Young really has a connection with Coker, and he's comfortable with throwing him the football. So all these things can be true, man, but the Carolina Panthers, man, they really have no excuse not to make it out of the division this year, bro, because if you look at the division this year, there's only one good team in the division, and it's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Okay? Other than that, man, the Saints is trash. The Falcons is okay, and then you got the Carolina Panthers, okay? How much more time does Bryce Young need in order for him to start showing us that he can be a franchise quarterback? You know what I mean? 3 seasons in, you know what I mean? I'm not going to fault him for the first season because, Frank Reich and the play calling wasn't good. The coaching staff wasn't very good. But that's kind of what happens when you are a number one overall pick. Like, I'm going to keep saying that. You seen what Cam Ward went through yesterday with the Texans, man, not even putting up a single point. You know what I'm saying? So these things, tend to happen the first overall picks, man. But year two, you know what I mean? Towards the end of the season, you showed improvement, but in the beginning of the season, you played horrible. Uh, Excuse me. Week three, you know what I mean? Week three now, you know what I mean? You were a game manager, and the defense just played really, really well. So you were able to pick up the victory. Now, week four against the New England Patriots, which is a rebuilding team, I might add, with a young team, a young quarterback, and you get blown out 42-13, man. That's unacceptable. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever, especially when you just came off a big win with the Atlanta Falcons and you shut them out and you made their offense look like garbage. Okay, we were definitely expecting a lot more from the Carolina Panthers, man, but it seems to me like they leave a lot to be desired. You know what I'm saying? I think that the best thing for the Carolina Panthers to do, if they do end up with a top pick this year, is to just keep an eye out on these quarterbacks, man, that are coming out. Now, in my honest opinion, watching college football these past couple of weeks, man, there is no real quarterback this year's draft that stands out to me. You know what I mean? Garrett Nussmeier, I don't think he's that good. You know what I mean? Drew Allard, I don't think Drew Allard is going to be that good. You know what I mean? Those are the only two guys that I can name off the top of my head right now because we've seen the way Arch Manning started the season. You know what I mean? He's nowhere near what everybody thought he was going to be, so he's not even an option. So does it even make sense to tank for a quarterback this year? It doesn't make sense. You know what I'm saying? So honestly, if I was the Carolina Panthers, I probably wouldn't be so quick to jump the gun to get rid of Bryce Young, trying to get another new quarterback in here because unless, of course, Dave Canales really likes a quarterback and he feels as though he can turn him into something, you know what I mean? But for the most part, man, I don't think any of these guys that are coming out this year are going to be really all that great. So I think it would be the best thing for the Carolina Panthers to do, would be to just stick with Bryce Young until his rookie contract runs out and just learn from it, you know what I mean? Because they did trade up to get him, you know what I mean? So with the Bears. So that's something that Bryce Young is somebody that the Carolina Panthers heavily invested in to be good. You know what I mean? But he just hasn't shown me consistently enough that he can put it together, you know what I mean? And that's what it ultimately comes down to. So Bryce Young, he definitely has some soul searching to do. So does the Carolina Panthers. They need to figure this thing out, man, because it's looking like it's going to be another 7-10 season for these guys, man. You know what I mean? Winning 6 games this year. So yeah, y'all like, comment, share, subscribe though. Let me know what y'all think about Bryce Young and the Carolina Panthers, man, and we can have a discussion about it in the comments. Other than that, I'm out. Peace, and I'm gonna catch y'all on the next one.